We're going to the United Kingdom for the moment, where a new fraud has been unearthed. A fraud linked to Rishi Sunak, the country's finance minister. In 2020, he introduced a pandemic relief scheme, a scheme to provide financial assistance to British citizens. 2 years on, the scheme is back in news, not for helping the people of Britain, but for the money it has lost, £17 billion. You see, certain loopholes in the scheme left it open for fraud. Rishi Sunak was apparently aware of this, but he did not act. He's now facing calls to step down. Here's a report.
When he was elected as the UK's finance minister, many predicted Rishi Sunak would one day be the prime minister. But in less than 2 years, this Indian-origin politician seems to have fallen from grace. After Partygate and a tax scandal, he's caught in another controversy: a COVID loan fraud. Suitcases filled with cash are being seized at UK's borders. Smugglers are being apprehended. Questions are being asked. The answers are linked to a scheme that was Sunak's brainchild. In April 2020, Chancellor Sunak introduced a pandemic relief plan. The aim was to help British citizens financially. The plan allotted a total of £80 billion. This money was to be distributed under 3 schemes. The biggest scheme was called Bounce Back. It distributed £47 billion to over 1.6 million recipients. It gave them a choice to repay the amount whenever they could. The rules were quite lenient. They promised loans in 24 hours. All that the borrowers had to do was to self-certify COVID problems with little paperwork. As a result, the scheme was left open for fraud. A report says £17 billion of this money is never going to bounce back, and £4.9 billion have been lost to fraudsters. These revelations have been made in an investigation by British Daily. It says the fraud was detected long back, but Sunak's office remained complacent. In fact, in June 2020, Sunak received a letter from 3 anti-corruption groups. They asked him to publish details of the scheme. The request was ignored. Then, in January 2022, the UK's Treasury Secretary raised the issue. He resigned from the House of Lords, citing the fraud in Sunak's scheme as the reason.
The oversight by both BEIS and the British Business Bank of the panel lenders of BBLs has been nothing less than woeful. They have been assisted by the Treasury, who appear to have no knowledge or little interest in the consequences of fraud to our economy or society.
Despite these repeated warnings, Rishi Sunak did not act. Today he faces criticism from his own party and requests from British citizens to step down as the finance minister.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.